The greatest command ever recorded is found in the few simple words, and God said, "Let there be light." In keeping with this principle, I now give to you, the reader, in these few pages, the truth as it was revealed to me. Can man decree a thing and have it come to pass? Most decidedly he can. Man has always decreed that which has appeared in his world, and is today decreeing that which is appearing in his world, and shall continue to do so, as long as man is conscious of being man. Not one thing has ever appeared in man's world, but what man decreed that it should. This you may deny, but try as you will, you cannot disprove it, for this decreeing is based upon a changeless principle. You do not command things to appear by your words or loud affirmations. Such vain repetition is more often than not confirmation of the opposite.
Spread love, man.
All right, diving in. Today, we're tackling some pretty mind-bending stuff from Neville Goddard.
Oh, yeah.
A 20th century spiritual teacher,
Oh, sure.
who claimed we can, actually shape reality with our minds.
Definitely. Yeah.
Which, I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to learn more about that?
Right. That's the question, isn't it?
Exactly. And we're using one of his lectures as our guide today. So you don't need to be a Neville expert or anything. Just bring an open mind. And
Yeah, I love that you said, who wouldn't want to learn more about that? It's it just gets right to the heart of why Goddard is so
fascinating.
fascinating.
Oh.
He doesn't just tell you about this power.
Right.
He actually gives you a framework
Oh, interesting.
to understand it
Okay.
and even use it.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So can we really just decree something and boom, it happens? Goddard's like, yep.
Totally.
And what's even wilder, he says, we're already doing it all the time,
Oh, yeah.
consciously or not. Everything in our world,
Oh, wow.
the good, the bad, it's all a manifestation of our consciousness.
It all comes back to that, yeah.
Whoa. Okay, so break this down for me.
Okay.
Consciousness is God.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about some deity in the clouds, right?
No, yeah.
It's about the awareness within each of us.
Right, exactly.
The I am at our core. And Goddard takes this even further.
He does.
He interprets the Bible not as literal history, but as this psychological drama happening inside our own consciousness.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that's where it gets really interesting, because when you view the Bible through that lens, passages like Moses saying, "I am hath sent me,"
Oh, yeah.
or David proclaiming, "Be still and know that I am God,"
Wow.
they take on a whole new meaning,
It's
It's like they're pointing to this
power.
this internal power we all have.
The Bible is a roadmap to our own inner landscape,
Totally.
showing us how to access this creative force. It's not just the Old Testament, though.
No, not at all.
Goddard sees this echoed in the New Testament, too.
For sure. He points to, those repeated I am statements of Jesus.
Oh, right.
That's more evidence that the whole message is about recognizing this awareness of being as the ultimate power.
So if our consciousness is shaping our reality, then how do we consciously use that power?
Yeah.
Goddard talks about decreeing things.
He does.
But I'm guessing it's not as simple as just wishing for something.
Not quite, no.
Right. It's not just affirmations.
Not just that.
Or wishful thinking.
Nope. True decreeing.
Yeah.
It goes deeper.
Okay.
It happens within consciousness. It's about shifting your inner state of being, not just saying the words,
Yeah, so it's
imagine an actor really embodying a role.
Oh.
Not just reading lines.
Okay.
That's the level of internal conviction we're talking about.
Whoa. Okay. Powerful imagery. So then, are we unconsciously decreeing things all the time then?
That's what Goddard suggests.
Oh, wow.
Based on our,
Fears,
beliefs, those thought patterns.
It's whoa.
It makes you think.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wake-up call. So much responsibility.
A lot to consider.
One thing I've always, tripped up on.
Yeah.
Is this whole the Father and the Son idea.
Oh, right.
Goddard says, I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I.
Right.
How does that fit in with all this consciousness stuff?
I know, it's
It's a paradox.
Paradox, right. But let me try and break it down.
Okay.
So the Father represents pure consciousness, this infinite potential of being,
Okay.
Picture a vast ocean of possibilities.
Wow.
That's the Father. Now, The sun,
Okay.
that's a specific manifestation of that potential.
I see.
Like a wave rising from the ocean.
Okay, so like Father is the ocean of consciousness, and the Son is like a specific experience we're having.
You got it.
Or a state of being we're embodying.
Exactly. And the Father is always greater.
Okay.
Because it holds all those possibilities, while the Son is just one expression of that limitless potential.
Goddard uses that example, right?
Yeah.
Of a conceiver and its conceptions.
Exactly.
So to make that real for our listener,
Yeah.
if you decree being healthy, wealthy, and love, those would each be sons
Conceptions?
arising from the Father,
Right.
which is pure consciousness. So it's not that you're separate from the Father.
No.
It's more like you're focusing your consciousness on a specific aspect of it.
Precisely. And you, as the Son, have the power to choose which conceptions you want to focus on,
Okay.
and bring into being.
Yeah.
You shape your reality through those choices you make in your consciousness.
Wow.
But then the question becomes,
How do we shift from being conscious of one state to another?
Exactly. And that's where things get even more interesting.
How we actually shift from one state of being to another.
Yeah, this is where Goddard brings in the idea of being born again. But before you think...
We're getting all religious.
Exactly. Remember, Goddard sees everything through the lens of consciousness.
Okay.
So he's not talking about a, traditional religious conversion.
Right.
But more like a radical shift in how we see ourselves and the world.
Born again. That sounds intense.
It is. He describes it as dying to one and living to the other.
Whoa. Okay, break that down for me.
So he's talking about shifting your attention away from an undesirable state and towards the one you want.
So if someone's always worried about money to be born again in that area, they'd need to shift from a state of lack to like a state of abundance.
Exactly.
Instead of focusing on what they don't have. They start feeling and acting as if they already have the wealth they want.
Perfect example. You're essentially embodying the feeling of,
wealth.
Wealth and security, yeah.
Even if their external reality hasn't quite caught up.
Exactly. It's like an actor stepping into a role.
Right.
Taking on the thoughts, feelings, even the posture of that character.
Okay, I get the concept, but it sounds like a lot of work.
It can be, yeah.
How do we actually make that shift happen? Is it just positive thinking?
More than that.
Right.
We're talking about a change at the level of consciousness. It requires, awareness, intention, and being willing to let go of old patterns.
The stuff that's holding us back.
Yeah, the beliefs that no longer serve us.
So what would that look like, practically speaking?
It might involve things like visualization, meditation.
Okay.
Consciously choosing to focus your thoughts and energy
on the reality you want to create.
Exactly. It's not denying your current circumstances.
Yeah.
It's about choosing where you place your attention and energy.
It's like that saying, energy flows where attention goes.
Right.
We're always directing this creative force inside us, but often unconsciously, right? Scattered, conflicted.
Totally. And Goddard gives us a framework for becoming more intentional.
With that power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which brings us to another fascinating piece of his teachings, prayer.
Ooh, prayer. Okay, I'm curious.
He has a very different perspective on prayer than, say, most traditional religions.
Lay it on me.
Goddard challenges that whole idea of prayer as like petitioning a distant God.
Okay.
He sees it more as recognizing yourself as already being what you want.
So not begging for it.
Not begging, no. It's about claiming your desired state.
Like it's already here.
Yeah, as a present reality.
Not hoping for it someday.
Exactly. He has this great example,
What is it?
about praying for riches while still feeling conscious of poverty.
Oh, right, like contradicting yourself.
He says it won't work because you're sending mixed signals.
To that creative force inside you.
Exactly. And this applies to everything.
Health, love, success.
Everything. The key is to align your consciousness with the feeling of already having it.
It makes sense. You can't manifest wealth if you're constantly feeling and thinking like you're poor.
You got to walk the walk, so to speak.
Okay, this is mind-blowing. But I'm wondering, how does this all tie into seeking the kingdom of heaven?
Oh, great question. Because for Goddard, that kingdom, it's not a place. It's a state of consciousness.
Oh, interesting.
Characterized by peace, joy, fulfillment.
So it's about prioritizing our inner state over what's happening externally.
You got it. True happiness and abundance, they come from within.
Not from stuff or achievements.
Exactly. It aligns perfectly with his ideas on decreeing and being born again.
It's all connected.
It is. Taking control of our inner world.
Yeah.
Recognizing that creative power.
And choosing the reality we want.
Powerful stuff.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening.
Glad to hear it.
I feel like I'm seeing the world with new eyes, like everything is possible.
I love that. And remember, this is just the beginning.
Right. There's more to explore.
So much more. Goddard's work is full of insights and applications that can really change your life.
It's exciting and kind of daunting at the same time.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, whoa, we have this power.
It's a big responsibility, but empowering to me.
And makes you realize we're not just, victims of fate.
Exactly. We're active creators.
This has been incredible. I feel like I'm looking at my own mind in a whole new way.
That's fantastic. And it's important to emphasize we've just scratched the surface here.
Right. There's so much more.
Goddard's work is so rich, if you want to go deeper.
Yeah, we'll definitely include links to his books and lectures in the show notes.
Great idea.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listener with something to think about.
Love it. What you got?
Okay, so if you could decree anything into being right now, what would it be? And what state of consciousness would you need to have?
To make that happen?
Yeah.
Those are powerful questions.
Right.
Really sit with those. The answers might surprise you.
You never know.
And remember, the power to create the life you desire. It's within you.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Neville Goddard. Until next time, keep exploring. Welcome back. Let's do a quick recap.
Sounds good.
Of what we've uncovered about Neville Goddard.
Okay.
So we've been exploring,
this idea that our consciousness shapes reality.
Exactly. And it's not like
just wishful thinking. Right?
No, it's deeper.
Or constantly decreeing things.
Whether we realize it or not.
Consciously or unconsciously.
And we talked about how this shows up in scripture.
Oh, right.
Not as literal history.
Yeah, more like
psychological drama within us.
That inner landscape.
It's all about recognizing that I am inside.
As the source of creation.
Exactly. And to shift from creating unconsciously to consciously.
That's the key.
We talked about being born again.
Which for Goddard means,
shifting our consciousness.
From a state we don't want.
To one we do want.
Yeah, like a complete transformation.
And we touched on his unique view of prayer.
Not begging, but aligning.
Aligning our consciousness with what we desire.
Claiming it as already ours.
And that's where his techniques come in.
Those practical tools.
For shifting our consciousness.
Like vividly imagining ourselves already experiencing what we want.
It's powerful stuff. It puts the power in our hands.
It does. Which can be exciting and
daunting.
Yeah, a bit of both, right?
It's a big responsibility.
It challenges us to be accountable for our thoughts and feelings.
And beliefs. Everything.
Because we're not just victims.
We are active creators.
Exactly.
This deep dive has been truly eye-opening.
I'm so glad to hear that.
It's like I'm seeing the world with a fresh perspective.
That's wonderful. And remember, this is really just a glimpse.
Into Goddard's teachings.
Yeah, there's a whole world to explore.
If you're interested in going deeper,
we'll definitely link to some of his books and lectures in the show notes.
Perfect. But before we go, I want to leave our listener with one last thought.
Okay, I like it.
If you could decree anything right now.
Anything at all.
What would it be?
And what state of consciousness would you need?
To bring it into being.
Sit with those questions.
Let them really sink in.
The answers might surprise you.
And remember, the power to create the life you want.
It's already within you.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us as we explored the world of Neville Goddard. Until next time, keep diving deep.